milk this bad boy.
You're talking about me talking about smoke. You're talking about setting the shit on fire, man.
Milk. I think my insurance will cover it.
Experimenting, playing around, and we turned out. I turned out to have a knack for camo, so here we are. I get to do it full time now, and I love it.
What about you was in the service?
Mm-hmm. Yep, I was a 1371. I was an engineer, a combat engineer in the Marine Corps from 1999 to 2003, and I missed that pretty bad. I love the camaraderie and the brotherhood of the military. That's why it's always cool to meet other folks like you.
Yeah, I think even though I was in 84 to 88.
That's because you're old.
Yeah, I'm old.
Yeah.
You still have that self-discipline and that brotherhood is there.
Mm-hmm.
You still have that bond, that sense of humor that only we get.
Yeah.
Some people think it might be a little sick, but
hell, these days it's damn near illegal to say half the shit we would say to each other.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
He's giving 5 minutes. He just saluted us.
I don't blame him. He must know who I am.
Oh man. So what? I mean, did you ever work for anybody else when you got out of the Marines?
I did, man. I did. See, when I got out in 2003, I mowed the grass for Durham Public Schools for a couple of months, and found out you don't make any money mowing grass for Durham Public Schools. So I went to work for Otis Elevator. I worked for them for 13 years. So 2016, I finally quit completely with Otis Elevator. But it was one of those jobs. It's a great job. Made a lot of money, great benefits. So it made it very difficult to leave that job and go to a world where you have no security. But it was the best thing to do. I'm glad we did it.
I have a cheat sheet here. So this is the first time we've done this. The first time I've done it. Zac's on Weaponworks. He does it every morning. Motivation, just telling people to get off your ass, do your own thing. There's no better time than now. You never know until you know.
That's right.
But what motivates you to keep doing this? And I mean, other than we can't bullshit anybody. Money is the motivator because you got to keep the bills paid, no matter what it is. You got to keep the bills paid. But other than that, other than the money, what motivates you to keep on doing that?
Choices. My big thing is it's kind of like drinking before you're 21. You always wanted to do it, right?
Yeah.
So, if you have a job and you're locked down from 9 to 5 every day, all day, you don't really have a choice to go out at 10 o'clock in the morning and go grab a biscuit if you want to go grab a biscuit. I'm a chunky boy. I like my biscuits. Well, running this business and doing what I do full time, being my own boss, it gives me choices. It lets me basically do whatever the hell I want to do.
Yeah. And
that's the most important thing in the world to me is doing what I want to do.
Yeah.
So it's freedom, I guess.
Yeah. It's some people think, being successful is having all these fancy toys and stuff like that. And I get that. And it is cool to be able to have stuff, have the shiny cars and all this stuff. But I think the biggest thing is if I want to go somewhere, okay, let's go. And now, granted, I don't do that as often as I'd like to because I don't think we've had a vacation in probably 10, 15 years. But it is nice to have that choice.
Yeah,
you know, I can do this.
You can do it anytime you wanted to, and it kind of makes you not want to do these things.
Yeah.
Like I used to like really want fancy cars. I really wanted a bunch of different guns, and when I got to the point in my life to where I could actually afford some of these things, it made me not want them.
Yeah.
Kind of like turning 21. I didn't want to drink as much anymore.
Yeah.
So, and that's another thing. Success. Talking about, you know, some people say fancy cars or big shiny toys. Success it has a different definition for every single human being. You know, some people success might consist of, you know, raising a really nice family. You know, some people it might consist of making a lot of money, or some people just want a new house, or it just has different definitions for everybody, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I like having the bills paid.
Mm-hmm.
There's just something relaxing about that, and coming in and doing something you're enjoying.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, you're not working. So that, I think that's probably why why we haven't been on vacations or anything, because we're having fun.
You don't have nothing to vacate from.
Yeah. There is stress, but it's a stress that it's kind of like that. It's not stress that other people are putting on you that you don't want. Like if you work for somebody, your boss is putting stress on you. Whoever you're in charge of is putting stress because they're idiots or something like that. But it's a stress where you're like, okay, bring it on. What you got for me today? And I'm gonna handle it.
So when you put on yourself and you learn to strive and to get better on your own, not because someone's watching you, but because you actually want to be better. And that's the key, is to actually want to do these things. Like I recently quit smoking like 8 months ago or something.
You don't stop?
I still have cravings for a cigarette, but I finally got to the point where I really wanted to quit, and that's all it took to really quit.
Yeah.
I've tried multiple times before, and if you don't really want to do something, you're not going to do anything about it. So just
gotta decide to do it,
right?
And do it. I mean, that one video you had on Weaponworks, you were talking about people talking about they're too old to do something, to start something new, and I got a kick out of that, because it's true. You know, you're never too old to do something, anything, and I was asked, about in an interview a couple months ago about how if I thought the economy was in good shape, and that's why we were able to do this. I think that's why people will come in and spend some money. But there's certain certain businesses, when if times are a little tight for people, women are still going to get their hair done. Everybody still needs a haircut, so it's kind of like recession proof. People are going to get this stuff done, and I think people are always going to drink coffee. They're always going to go to bars, no matter what the economy. Even if they're going to feel sorry for themselves, they're going to go to a bar. They're going to get drunk, and then they're going to need to sober up the next morning, so they want coffee. But I don't think it's the economy, and I don't want to get political about anything. I'm not going to bring that up, because that's not what this is about. You have the money, and if you wait until you have this specific dollar amount to do something, you'll be waiting forever. You will never ever pull that trigger.
It's kind of like having kids, right?
Yeah.
There's no possible way you can ever actually be prepared for having children.
Never.
And if you waited for that moment, you just wouldn't have children. So.
And speaking of having kids, when our daughter was born, I will never forget when we were at the hospital and it came time to pay the bill, and the nurse, this is one of the things that's nice about, and it's not a flashy thing, it's not a shiny car. The nurse comes in there. This is one thing about having your own business and doing your own thing. The nurse comes in and says, okay, who's your insurance company? I said, I'm paying cash. Do you give cash discounts? And Yes, they do. They do give cash discounts. You never know till you ask. And I wish they had maybe they'd given a veterans discount. That seems to be the big thing now. But
You'd be like, I got my daughter on sale.
Yeah, that's right. But it's nice, you know, to be able to do that. That's one of those things. That's way better than having the latest greatest Cadillac in the driveway. You know, being able to do that, and so I don't have to worry about that bill coming at the end of the month. But we're getting away, and I like it because that's what I wanted to do. It's just let this thing be fluid. I'm gonna keep driving. We're driving by Salvation Coffee, and they're busy. Sweet, that's what we want. Here's a good one. What's the trait that you deplore in others?
Laziness.
There you go.
I can't stand someone who wants to sit around and be lazy and then cry and complain, try to blame their lack of having a certain thing on someone else, all because they chose to be lazy.
Then they want to start a GoFundMe to get the light bill paid.
Right? Yeah. It's just thinking that the whole world owes you something just because you get up and you breathe every morning. Nobody owes you anything. The only thing you have a right to is life, liberty, and the pursuit. Pursuit is the most important part of happiness.
Amen.
Not the guarantee of happiness, the pursuit.
That's well answered. What I don't want to say famous because that could be anybody, but let's just stick with famous. What famous person would you like to meet living, and why?
Famous person I'd like to meet living, and why? Okay, so I grew up, I was a big baseball kid. Loved baseball, just was never very good at it, but always absolutely loved the game. Still love the game, just don't have time to follow it like I used to. My favorite player was Cal Ripken. I was always an Orioles fan. So when I was a kid, I wrote Cal Ripken a letter. He actually, I'm sure it wasn't him, but they sent me back an autographed picture of Cal Ripken. So I got a lot of respect for him. Love to meet that guy. And, beyond that, honestly, I'm reading a biography right now. It's called Shoe Dogs, Phil Knight's story.
Yeah.
Fantastic, by the way. I would love to meet one of these guys that built something like just uber ridiculous, Bill Gates, Zuckerberg. I would just love to pick their brains. I like to get around them and kind of see how their brain is functioning, because it's got to be a different way than mine.
Have you seen the Inside? I think it's called Inside Bill Gates' Brain on Netflix.
Yes, that's very good.
Dude,
actually.
It was really good.
Mm-hmm.
It's just amazing that back when Microsoft started, he was even I viewed him as just an internet nerd, a computer geek, and he's just a nerd.
Yeah.
But the stuff that being a nerd has allowed him to do, and that what he was trying to accomplish afterwards. Okay, I did all this. I've got all this money, and let's do something good.
Right.
And the stuff with Warren Buffett, and where they were trying to get the toilets and all that stuff, and then they have it, and you don't think that the tariffs and stuff affect that mess. It's just crazy. But then all of a sudden, it's weird how you don't think things affect stuff. And I'm trying not to get political or anything like that. It's just you just don't think about that. And the tariff stuff, when in my company with Salvation, the branding is the thing. Yep. And I want that logo, and you do too. You want your stuff, your branding and everything. Well, we ordered I got coffee cups, these coffee cups, which are extremely nice. Really like them. I had to have my name on them. I did not want the little wrap, with a stamp on it. And it just, that was not that wasn't us. And I don't care if I go broke, having my logo on that stuff. That's what we wanted. That was part of the plan. We're going to have our logo on stuff. And so we got these cups printed up. You got to order several thousand of them at one time just to be able to get your foot in the door and talk to these people. And I did it through an American company. So we had a middleman. And I'm not bragging. I just think that if this dumb Army grunt can do this mess, these smart young kids that want to do their own thing can do it too. And Google is our friend. Google is your best friend. You just ask Google anything and you will find the answer. Might take a little bit of digging, but you'll find the answer. And we're able to source the cups where I'm now an importer.
Okay.
Which is cool. Because cool. I just Googled what does it take to be an importer, and according to U.S. Customs, I don't have to have an import license to get stuff imported. I just have to know what paperwork to fill out. So I Google it, and you ask the manufacturer of the company that's making the stuff you're wanting to import. I just tell them, I was straight up with them. I'm stupid. I'm trying to do this without getting help from anybody else. If you could do what you can on your end, that would be great. And they just started popping out documents that I needed and everything, and it's been
nice and simple.
Awesome. Where I'm getting 4 times the amount of these for a quarter of what these cost me, and it's worth it. And that just means that I can. I'm not saying I'm going to, but it gives me the opportunity where I might be able to lower cost for what the customer's paying. Mm-hmm. I won't know until everything gets here, because I think the government, and especially North Carolina, they like to get their hand in everything.
Oh yeah,
they want to get their hand in that stuff. They can't stand anybody else having more fun than they do. But
God, I hate taxes.
But once everything's said and done, and I'll know, I will either have lost my butt a little bit or it paid off, and we saved a bunch of money, and I'll keep doing it.
You were talking about Google being our friend. We got to remember, man, these little smartphones that we're all toting around in our pocket every day, we take those things for granted. I mean, there's more computing power in your pocket than we use landing on the moon. It's kind of ridiculous. And these little bitty square boxes have replaced, 30, 40, 50,000 square foot libraries that people have used throughout history to learn things. And everyone just takes it for granted. And it's like the easier things get for everyone, the more excuses everyone makes. It's a little ridiculous, honestly. Anybody can do anything. I have 0 college. I have no education. I was a Marine.
All right, I think we might have covered this with another question, an earlier question. But what's your idea of perfect happiness?
Perfect happiness. All right, so I want my kids to be happy and healthy, and I don't want to have to worry about anything, and I want to be able to leave enough money for my great grandchildren to not have to worry about anything. But that's my ideas, and that's probably a little over the top for most people. So.
I don't think that's over the top.
Well, a lot of my friends and family, they think I'm greedy because I'm always working and I'm always talking about wanting to get more money and all this other stuff, and I don't think it's greedy at all. And they say it's greedy, but they don't complain not one bit when I pick up,
the check bill. When y'all go out to eat.
Yeah, or buy a cruise for them to go somewhere and go on a family vacation. Yeah. No one complains about those things, but I'm greedy. See, you just can't help other people if you're worried about paying your light bill. It's impossible.
So you send them on cruises?
Oh yeah.
Are you open to adopting a slightly older child?
Talking about you?
Or rent?
It ain't nothing that special, but grew up relatively poor, and it's been nice to be able to do those kind of things for my
It
family.
is cool.
It really is fun.
I remember when I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, there's nothing that makes me happier than buying shit for other people.
Dude, I feel you.
I love it.
It's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
My thing is, on the birthday I would look for stuff I could get for other people, and because I get a kick out of it. It's fun, and my wife gets upset because she can't buy me any gifts, because if I want something, I'll go out and get it, and well, that's just the way I am, and because we didn't have anything when I was growing up, and I'm a mama's boy. She raised me, and we didn't have anything, but I never did without, as far as keeping up with the kids that had the Izods and the Polos,
Mm-hmm.
and the nice new running shoes and stuff. But it is kind of cool to go out and just the kids don't even have to. When we would take the kids to the mall, we would tell them, we're going in here. Just because you see it on that shelf doesn't mean that we're getting it. So don't ask for it. Don't don't go in here and pitch a fit. And you could sit back and you watch the kids at the toy store, or even if you took them to the clothing store or something, and you could see when they were looking at stuff, and they knew not to say, "Oh, Daddy, I want this. I want this." Now, granted, when we asked them if they wanted something, they would tell us, but you could see it in their eyes and in their body language that they liked something and they wanted it. So it's kind of cool, you just pick it up and you get it for them, and it's just neat. Or you go back later and get it when they're not around, and then you bring it back. I saw you wanted this, and stuff like that. And I am not gonna. I do want to leave stuff for my kids, and I don't think I'm gonna have to worry about great grandkids the way I'm running this life. I'm taking this one too. I don't want to live for my kids.
Mm-hmm.
We want to have fun and stuff, but I want to leave them something. I don't want to say legacy, because I want to leave them something that if they put their mind to it, they can carry on. Yeah. They can take this ball and run with it however they want to.